All right, Ambush, and today we are joined by a platinum certified producer, a multi-talented free spirit, a man who is creating some very good grooves, and he's teaming up with the likes of Dragonette on his latest single to do exactly that. The track is entitled Unicorn. The artist, the producer, is YASH. How's it going today, YASH?
Hey, how you doing, Colton?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I was jamming some Unicorn before I jumped in this interview, so you know I got the vibes going. I'm flowing.
Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Love the vibe.
Hey, we got the energy right, and of course, like we said, the new song is a Unicorn. And for those who maybe are in the world of YASH, Planet YASH, as you like to call it. For those who are inside of that planet's gravitational pull, they maybe know that this is your first true single of your own out of your, under your own name. So I need to understand, when did this track begin to come together for you, my friend?
Well, I've had this track, a few years, actually. We wrote this track with Dragonette and Jensen Vaughn, who's another writer, in a session. We were kind of just planning to do a session, try to get some cuts, maybe sell something to Netflix, stuff like that. And we ended up with this song. It was really sick. And we were kind of me and Dragonette really liked it. And we were kind of hoping it doesn't do anything so we can take it. And eventually we did. And we came out with this. And that's it's been a couple of years already that it's this song has been around in the back pocket, kind of, and it's time for it to come out,
So this is something that's just sort of been waiting in the wings for the right moment, then.
Yes, exactly.
All right, perfect. So you mentioned a few years ago, was this originally, like you said, it's meant to be pitched? So when it comes out under YASH yourself, what is was this sort of the thought? You probably have a couple different tracks that have been waiting. So what was the thought of getting Unicorn out there?
Well, it's one of my favorite tracks on the whole repertoire. Also, yeah, it's just something I really wanted to put out for a long time. It's the first one, and actually the rest of the songs that are on this, the release that I'm about to do, or the release plan that I'm about to do, they've not been around as long. This song has been around the longest, and I just wanted it to come out. It's a beautiful song. It was also a right timing, and the groove is really sick, and it's summer. So it all came together, and I was like, okay, this is probably should be the first, the first release, the first single. It sounds like it also. It's cool.
Hey, it's definitely a track that grabs your attention, gets you grooving, gets you moving. So from, of course, the feedback standpoint, this track has been out for probably about a month now or so. So what has been the feedback so far from this track that's been waiting for a while?
Yeah, no, it's only been out for 5 days.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah.
My apologies. But either way, it's been out for 5 days now. What's the reception been like so far?
Amazing, actually amazing. I've been getting DMs, and we've gotten on playlists, and it's really cool. A lot of hype around it, and we're also continuing to push it. There's a video that's coming out for it, which will be a kind of a second wave of pushing the song. So yeah, the reception's been amazing, actually. It's great.
Okay, awesome. And of course, we mentioned this is sort of the kickoff into your first full release of YASH itself. So going from sort of behind the scenes as a producer, an award-winning one at that, what was the thought of finally going from behind the scenes to putting your name in front of the tracks, releasing your own music?
Well, when you write for other people for a lot of years, the writing for other people has its benefits. However, it's in a sense it's limiting, I guess, because you have to tailor what you're doing. You're not going to be the performer, so eventually even if there's a creative flow between you and the performer and the artist and everything, eventually you have to tailor what you're doing to what they're doing. Otherwise, you're not writing a song for them, right? So I wanted to just make whatever I want, and put it out. That's really the motivation behind it. Really, at the end of the day, it's getting out of the bubble of like maybe like becoming a little bit template and stuff like that, and just putting out whatever you want without any, there's a lot of, when you write songs for a living, there's a lot of songs that don't come out. Like, I don't know if you realize, like there's like, there's really like 1% of the, probably, or 2% of the songs you'll write will actually see the light of day. So that, and it's like, you just accept that. That's just a part of the business. You just accept that and that's it. But it's still frustrating, It's like, it's not like you're still somewhere in the back of your mind. It's like, oh shit, I have like 100 of these, like that are sitting on my hard drive and nothing's going to happen, so when you do stuff for yourself, it's like whatever you do, you're going to present to the world. And I like that concept. I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like when you're writing for other artists, it's like you're coloring to their own coloring book. And sometimes it's nice to color outside the lines, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And of course, you mentioned that there's going to be some music videos potentially coming our way and otherwise. And one thing that anyone who's seen your social media has maybe seen is a little bit of a character, an alter ego, an avatar has sort of been hinted at, released a couple images there. So take us behind that avatar there. What's the thought process of creating that?
Well, I always kind of liked Gorillaz. It's a great band, and I like Blur as well, which is the singer of Gorillaz, right? Like he was in that band. I love that band and I like that concept a lot. And I was always like looking for a way to do it. And I was like, there needs to be a way to do it. I want to do it. I want to do that kind of thing. It's cool. And I got this opportunity to like put out my own music. And I said, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to actually incorporate that aspect of animated, whatever, like avatars and stuff like that, especially because of now it's like NFTs, Metaverse, all this stuff is coming in, right? And the minute it came in, I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. This is going to happen. I also saw K-pop, like a K-pop star or whatever do that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's coming. So, I decided, okay, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it in a cool way. And I'm going to I'm going to take this guy and make him into a real guy that is basically me and has my life, but is just him. And and it's funny, like we're like really, like I also like the tech about it a lot, not only the concept, the 3D, all that stuff. Like they didn't have that as locked down back in when Gorillaz was like starting. So now you can do it even better, cheaper, easier, faster, like a million things. It's really cool. I like that aspect as well. And I always drew and stuff like that. So I like the fact that I can combine those skills into music, because I've never done that before. I didn't have to, because before, you go to a photo shoot or whatever, and if you're a producer, you don't do anything. You're just a dude, So that's where it came from. And, in the future, really planning for this avatar to be basically the main thing. I'm not, it's probably the last interview I'm doing as myself. So, because we're working on a way to actually just do this, what we're doing. And you would have been talking to, like 2 months from now, you would have been talking to the guy and not me.
Okay, well then I got to bring you back in like 2 months.
Absolutely. I would love to, because we need to test all this stuff. And well, we're testing it, but we need to implement this stuff somewhere. So yeah, for sure.
Oh,
you
my
would
goodness.
be fully talking to 3D avatar, and it'd be great.
Wow, that is absolutely mind-blowing. And it's crazy, like you say, the advancement of technology and just like how much more accessible it is. Because like you probably think back to like the Clint Eastwood music video. We've used the Gorillaz, so I'll continue to use them for like the amount of money they probably spent to put that music video together.
Oh my God, man.
Like,
it cost $1 million to, okay, I looked it up. It was over $1 million budget. You're not $1 million. It was £1 million. and it was that Clint Eastwood thing. And can you imagine what you can do with that today? Like you could buy 10 motion capture suits, and it like you can, I don't know, there's tons of stuff you could make years of content with that now. Like you can make like fucking 2 years of content with this.
Imagine if that just didn't hit, right? Like that music video had to be successful.
Oh yes, of course. But but they took like the best guys and like the best, like there's no way that wouldn't have looked good, because there's a reason it cost over £1 million, because they took like the best guys, the best, like whatever, animators, photographers, DPs, like, everything, directors. So yeah, they made a product that's amazing. But today you can definitely do that as just a dude with a laptop and a little bit of money to maybe just do some motion capture and stuff like that. But it's nothing crazy.
That's absolutely it is crazy in one way, that just to think that that's what's possible. And you mentioned drawing and everything else. So did you design this avatar yourself then?
Yeah, I worked with a very good, not illustrator. I illustrated, but a 3D sculptor, a 3D modeler, it's called, to bring it to life. But I illustrated it, and just me and this modeler just went through a creative process just to vet it, make sure it's good. Just pinpoint it to where we wanted it to be. But yeah, I had a lot to do with the way it looked, and like actually technically and physically as well.
Wow. So when you mentioned there's going to be an upcoming music video for Unicorn here, can we expect sort of that sort of animation style for the music video as well then?
Yes. It's a music video that's it involves real life animation, real life action and animation. So real life and animated scenes, and we're doing some cool ways to connect them together and mesh them, like reality with metaverse kind of together. So there's two different mediums kind of working, contradictory.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier the whole metaverse thing and sort of trying to stay at the forefront of that. So not just continuing to progress yourself as an artist and growing as there, but there's also so many other aspects that you can do with this, as you mentioned, with NFTs, with the metaverse, and all of these other things.
Look, for me, first and foremost, it's like music. I'm not really doing this because NFTs came into existence. Like, it's cool and everything, but it's not like it didn't change my life. But it was definitely a factor. It's like, oh, okay, what's a better time to do this? Because once I create this, I made this character. Well, now I can have shows, and whatever this metaverse thing is going to be, I can have shows there in a virtual way. I can also have shows in real life, but I can also do that, and obviously I'm going to put out music the traditional way, like I've been doing, because that's how you put out music. But maybe, but now I have an opportunity to just, I'll do an NFT album just for fun. If I have some tracks that I love and I want to put them out quick, maybe I'll do a limited edition, little album and put it out as an NFT, or the character himself. So yeah, it helps, and it gives more avenues to the project. Definitely.
Absolutely. It's not a driving factor, but it definitely, the timing was right, that it definitely assists things.
Absolutely.
Hey, I like that very, very much. So, of course, you mentioned that Unicorn leads us towards a little bit of a bigger picture here. So, of course, without giving away too much of the magic there, what can you tell us about this upcoming project?
Well, it's dance oriented, like, let's say. So the rest of the tracks, I would say that they're much more electronic music oriented than Unicorn. However, they all have that like quirky, funky vibe to them. They're just musical. They're very musical. I tried to make everything I do very musical as much as I can. melodic, chords wise, stuff like that. I incorporate funky beats and music. But definitely the rest of the music is more electronic, straight up, and less poppy. There's one song that's similar to, like, close to Unicorn, but the rest, are more vibey, like electronic. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of the sound. A lot of, musicality, funky with hard beats. It's basically what I do.
Hey, it's good because as artists, right? You can't. Sometimes people like to relegate themselves to one specific thing, but sometimes it's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole, right? Where it's you have so many other emotions and feelings and energies, and you can't just express just one of those all the time.
Yeah, for me that's very difficult it's very difficult for me to just lock into one thing. So to one genre, or just like make every song like very similar to the other, it's just difficult for me because I don't feel the same every day. You're right. Like I don't make the same stuff all the time. Every time I sit down in front of the computer, something else comes out.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And of course, you also hinted there earlier towards the potential of some live shows in person style as well. And of course, we're in
I'm saying person.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
No worries. But of course, we mentioned we're in festival season. Things are sort of opening up. We're starting to get back into exactly that sort of world. So is that something people should be keeping their eyes open for here in the near future?
I would say next year, probably more likely than this year, because we have to catch up with the technical side of it. But we're working on like making it for real, so I can actually go and play as this guy. If it's going to be like a suit with any screens, or it's going to be transparent screens, anything like that. But that's what's going to happen. And it's a cool show. The show itself is me playing like, just a bunch of instruments, everything, like running the whole thing. I'm a multi-instrument, like I play a bunch of stuff. So, as much playing as I can do is fun for me. I enjoy it. And this thing of actually making it happen with this character is a huge challenge. So that's why I'm like super excited for that. We'll see, like, if I can actually pull it off. Maybe it'll look bad. I don't know, but so far from what I tested, it looks great. We'll see.
Hey, I can't wait to see myself. And any of the listeners, if you can't wait to see for yourself too, you should go ahead and follow YASH on your favorite social media platforms. Or what would you say is the best way to connect with you, YASH?
I would say Instagram is the best absolute way to connect with me, at YASH Planet. That is my Instagram. Look at Unicorn that just came out on Spotify and all your favorite streaming platforms. And please, contact me if you like it. Would love to hear from everybody. And our video is coming out very soon, so be in the mix of that.
Hey, absolutely. Keep your eyes and your ears open. And I'm highly also going to suggest you go and check out the cover of Bohemian Like You. They did the team. You and the rest of the team there did a fantastic job. Black Caviar and Ali the Dreamer. Amazing track there as well. Highly suggest going and jamming that too. Yash, I got one last question for you. You ready for it?
Let's go.
Perfect. So, of course, we've talked about the process of stepping out from behind the studio into maybe sort of the spotlight, maybe putting an avatar in the spotlight, and getting your own music finally out into the world. And what I would love to know now is, through this process, how has it helped you to grow as a person, or what has it taught you about yourself?
What has it taught me about myself? I would say grow as a person more. It's just overcoming fears and overcoming like technical issues. I learned that, I could do other stuff. I learned that sometimes you got to make the move before you actually know if it's going to work, or before you even have a feeling. Sometimes there's no guarantee really. You just have to make the move and see what happens. And I learned that, you know, I can overcome all sorts of issues that that I didn't think I could, you know, technical ones specifically, because this thing is hard, like it's difficult. It was difficult in the beginning to do, like this, like to learn all this, like to figure out all this avatar stuff and to figure out how to make it, how to, you know, I didn't know anything about it really. I just knew gorillas. It's not, you know, it's not a big thing. So, but I learned, like, you know, slowly, like the whole thing. So that's the most I gained from it, I think, from doing this. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I thank you for sharing that lesson, as well as the story of this new single, Unicorn. You can go ahead and find it on your favorite streaming service right now. I highly suggest you do. Yash, thank you so very much for joining us here today on the DTP.
No problem. Thank you very much. Peace. Bye.